trespass. What?
You must be a tourist. A kill a local's no better than to interrupt a man when he's drinking alone. Not really. If you have a job that needs doing, I'll hear you out. That's the only kind of company I'm looking for. Well, this isn't the best part of town for sightseeing. The crowd at the hitching post is a whole lot friendlier to strangers. But since we're already talking, I guess I ought to introduce myself. The name's Ezekiel. Some folks around town call me Easy. Is there something I can do for you? That's right there in my name, Ezekiel. People called me that when I was a kid, and that stuck. A job offer? I haven't been on a starship in years. Well, maybe it's time to change that. But let me ask you something first. What are you looking for out there? And what keeps you traveling? I'm not keen on working for a stranger, especially on a starship. I need to know what makes you tick before we work together. Never heard that one before. Well, for better or worse, you're clearly a person of conviction. If you're serious about your offer, I'll join you. Nope, not asking for a salary. Save your credits for someone who really needs them. If it is, I'll keep it to myself. I know what I'm getting into. Fixing things is my strong suit. I've been working as a handyman around Aquila City for years. I'm also a self-taught expert on starship shield systems. I guarantee your ship will be in safe hands with me. I'm a hard worker. You can count on that. I can start as soon as you need me to. I'll see you out there. In the meantime, fly safe.
Might not be the biggest selection in town, but our liquor gets the job done as well as any. I can guarantee you that.
You look well today. I'm open to that. I was in a starship accident when I was young. It killed my sister, Emmeline. Left me with this scar. I haven't been off-world since. After Emmeline died, space travel lost a lot of its luster. I couldn't see the wonder in it anymore without her. I'm a universal, so that's a heavier thing for me than most. It's a term for practitioners of Sanctum Universum. My entire family were universals. The accident happened 12 years ago. 12 years to the day before we met, actually. For a long time, just seeing a starship reminded me of her. She was the only family I had. The parents died when I was just a baby. Once Emmeline was gone, I was all on my own. They died in a starship accident, too. Almost exactly 12 years before Emmeline did. Some coincidence, huh? I mainly took care of myself. Our parents had a small house in the stretch that Emmeline inherited when they died. That's where I stayed. A couple of the neighbors offered to let me live with them, but I never took them up on it. I couldn't bear to move out of that house. But they kept me fed and helped with the bills until I was old enough to start working. I wouldn't have made it without them. Nobody can if they haven't been through it. That's part of the reason I've kept to myself all these years. I didn't want to bother the folks around me with something they couldn't understand. My whole life. My parents were early adopters of Keeper Aquilus' teachings. They raised my sister Universal, and after they died, she raised me the same way. The two of us prayed together every day. There were Weren't a lot of other Universals in the Freestar Collective, so we didn't have a church to go to or anything. Our shared faith is part of the reason we were so close when I was growing up. The founder of the Sanctum Universum. He arrived in New Atlantis several decades ago and started spreading the beliefs of the Sanctum there. Sanctum Universum means holy universe. That's the core of what we believe, that the universe itself is holy. We think of space travel as a means of connecting with God. We believe they are out here somewhere, and that travel in the stars is the best way to find them. I'm glad she did. I was just a baby when our parents died. I never got to know them. Sharing their faith made them feel a little closer. Fine. What is it? The thing that changed most about me is my faith. I was a devoted Universal before Emmeline died, but I barely pray at all anymore. It's part of why I've avoided space travel all this time. Didn't see the point in being out there without something to connect to. But I'm trying to get it back. That's why I decided to join your crew. I'm trying to reconnect with that part of myself. You're right. There is. I'd forgotten how beautiful the stars are up close. And there really is nothing like the feeling of a grav jump. Remembering things like that again feels like a good place to start. Hearing the story once wasn't enough for you? There was a fire aboard my sister Emmeline's ship. She died saving me from it. I'm not going over the rest again. I already feel guilty about what happened to her. Reopening old wounds won't make that any better. I'd appreciate that. I wanted to know what you stood for before I signed on. And my faith teaches that a person's connection to space says a lot about them. Leaving Aquila was a big decision for me. I had to make sure I was traveling with a captain who loves being out here, whatever their reason. Hope you're superstitious. This is gonna sound crazy otherwise. Something life-changing happens to me every 12 years. Almost to the day. We met right on time. 12 years after the last major event. It felt like a sign. I'm not the type of person to ignore those. If what you told me about those artifacts is true, you're looking for something bigger than yourself out here. I have a lot of respect for that kind of journey. I'm a member of the Sanctum Universum. We call ourselves Universals. That eases my mind. To tell you the truth, I'm still nervous about being out here. It's been years since the last time I was on a starship. Anything else I can do for you?